Alright, so I just finished the first episode of Ayaka, and two words that come to mind after finishing this first episode is not bad. It certainly does have me interested in what's to come. This is an action fantasy, which honestly I'm looking forward to some good old fighting. The animation, not bad. The character certainly has me curious of what the heck their powers actually are. So the first episode starts off with this huge fire on this island named Ayaka, and I probably butchered that. I am so sorry, but a huge wildfire going on, dang near covering everything. And then we have this absolute badass of a guy, which I was really looking forward to seeing more, named Yanagi, and he was able to save the island, I'm assuming, in some way. I mean, that's what it appeared to be, and I don't really understand his powers, but in the end, pretty much everyone evacuated, and our main character, Yukito, was sent to foster care because that's what his father, Yanagi, actually wanted. Our main character definitely probably has some latent ability, or I should say at the very least, super high potential because of him being Yanagi's son, and Yanagi seems like he's one of the most powerful guys in the series because a lot of people be putting respect on his name, so I'm just assuming that he's definitely one of the higher tier guys. And yes, you heard me right, the main character is named Yukito, and what's also funny about that is there's these Ayakashi named Mitama. Not necessarily one specifically, but that's just what those beings are called. So we got Yukito and Mitama in this anime, and if you watch Kamikatsu or kind of know about last season, obviously know what the heck I'm referencing, which is, I think, pretty hilarious. Our MC actually gets put into foster care. When the fire on the island went down and everyone evacuated, he was about, I believe, 5 years old, and now the story takes place when he is graduating middle school. And he's actually going back to the island. Doesn't make sense to me, obviously, at the beginning because he has these insane powers to actually be able to control water, and I will get more into that in a minute, but I would think that being on the island where all these people, or at least some people, have these really special powers would be the best place for him so that he can develop those powers, but I guess he's going to be learning how to control them now when he's a teenager and now in high school. Yukito has these insane water abilities where he can attack people with, and he has somewhat control over the water as well, which will be interesting to see how far he can go with using water, well, to fight monsters, aka the Mitama. And there actually is good Mitama and bad Mitama, so not all of them are evil. And then we have one of the most awesome dudes, and I really like this character, a guy named Jingi, which is actually the kid who guided / saved Yukito at the very beginning when the fire was going on, which, okay, my dumbass didn't realize that it was actually the same kid because, well, yeah, he looks quite different from when he was a kid, and he definitely acts a lot different. But obviously, people grow up and they're not really the same person as they were in a kid. And I'm like, oh my god, how am I that stupid? And Yukito wasn't even aware of it either. So I was basically on the level of denseness and forgetting everything like Yukito, the main character, which is really saying something. But yeah, his design is absolutely awesome. Like, he really stands out. There's that meme of like, oh, I wonder who the main character is. And Jingi definitely has that freaking vibe going on for him. He is really bright green. I mean, his hair is green, and then his jacket is green, and then his shirt is like yellowish green, so he definitely does stick out like a sore thumb. And also, well, apparently he likes drinking as well, because he showed up to Yukito's school to actually pick him up to bring him back to the island while he was pretty much drunk, or at the very least buzzed. Yeah, he was drinking a lot. But yeah, I really like his design and his personality. He seems like he's gonna be a fun character to watch. And Yukito really ain't bad. He's definitely not my favorite MC, but I don't hate him. He's alright, and he definitely has some problems which he needs to work out. Both him controlling his powers, but also emotionally. I mean, kind of makes sense when your father, I'm assuming Yanagi is his father, or at least to me it's implied that he's his father, dies at a young age and he doesn't really remember him, and then he's shipped off to freaking foster care for however many years, and then he just gets a letter that, hey, we're gonna bring you back to the island, which is, well, your birthplace. And I kind of get that he's not really the most super happiest guy in the world, and also he doesn't really want to get close to anyone for another understandable reason, is because of his powers. Like I said, he isn't able to control them, and he actually did hurt someone when he was a child, and he got mad at this kid bullying him, so he used his power to trap him into this water bubble and almost drowned the dude. Now, he didn't do it on purpose. His power seems to be connected to his emotions. He's not very emotionally stable. So yeah, a recipe for for disaster is how I would put it. What Jingi said definitely seems like he has potential, because he says that he has a lot of brute strength with his powers. And I'm actually on my anime list right now, and it looks like we do have 4 main characters, which we saw all 4 of them in the first episode, but we really didn't see much of the other 2 besides Jingi and Yukito, so I'm not really going to comment much on them. And like I said, this is an action fantasy, and you need good animation for the action, and I would say for the most part, it was pretty good. Now, when they were fighting this evil Mitama, I will say that the animation for the monster wasn't necessarily terrible. I think it is CGI. I could be wrong. It looked a little bit like CGI, or at least some was used, and you could tell that it did look a little bit different from the rest of the anime. It definitely wasn't the most badass of fights. It was kind of over pretty quickly, and to be fair, it's the first freaking episode, so I wasn't really expecting some brand big fight at the very beginning, but I hope that it does get a little bit better. I'm not really saying that it was complete trash. Animation, like I said, I would say pretty good 99% of the time. I would say about the first episode did definitely leave a good impression, and like I said, definitely has me interested to see what is to come. So yeah, that's my thoughts and opinions on the first episode of Ayaka. I could definitely see myself give it another episode or 2, maybe even more. So if you like action fantasy, I would say give this a shot. I don't think this is gonna blow you away, but maybe you'll like it and find it enjoyable like me. But that's gonna be it for the video, everyone. I hope you did enjoy, and if you did, if you guys would not mind leaving a like and consider subscribing, I'd really appreciate that. I hope you all have a fantastic day, night, evening, morning, whatever the hell time it is for you. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.